Yes. Are we done? It's like you said many people have finished. Or you still want to use all the 40 minutes? Okay. They want to use their 40 minutes. Okay. Yeah. Yes. Are you finished?
I think so. I think they're just finishing our.
So she will be representing you.
Yes, she's our representative.
5 minutes to go. I don't. It's is the back one and this one. Can you ask them? Shall we have your representatives upstage, please? Are you still on? Where's the remote? Okay. So you can go out now. You can go out now.
I don't know who will be the juju man. You can say that we are missing them. They're almost done.
Time up, please. Time up. Shall we have your spokespersons upstage? Please, yeah, just the one speaking.
I think they want.
I want to go to the high to go and sit there.
Who is speaking for you? Okay. You need to sit before I will ask the minister to come in. And please, when the minister arrives, we have to stand. So please, just leave this seat here. Yes, and then you can sit. The minister is waiting outside. He's waiting outside. The minister is waiting outside. Which group is not here?
You know what? First of all, thank you for this case study.
Okay. Yeah, one more. The minister. The minister, so put that there. Yeah. This one, group 1. Group 1. Who is coming? Please come. The minister is. No, you have to be seated before the minister comes. So just join her. Yeah. What name should I give him? All right, ladies and gentlemen, I have the singular honor to usher in the Minister of Agriculture for Dumbelani. He is Honorable Minister Christian Pokoloko. Shall we give him a, please, let's be on our feet.
How come everyone is sitting? Hey, people have no respect. You're welcome. Were you given something to eat and drink? Oh, very good, very good. Now we can start deliberation. Where's the advisor? Science advisor.
Scientific advisor.
Yes. This one. Oh. Some people are going to be fired.
No, group 4. Yeah. Okay.
Oh. Put advert out already. What happened to my man, this man who shakes my things to check the spirits are around? I also need him, my juju man. The gods will not bless this deliberation if he's not here. Okay, please introduce yourselves since I don't know some of you.
Your Excellency, you are welcome.
Thank you.
I'm Kingsley Echu. I'm here to express to you or to solicit why our preoccupations or the incoming company should be given some considerations.
Good afternoon, Honorable Minister. My name is Gertrude Ojegwata. I'm here on behalf of Group 3, and I'm the investor C with all the money, and I want huge return on my investment. I really don't believe in philanthropy. I want money, and huge investment. So.
I also want money. And with that sweet voice, whatever you want, let them give you. Yeah.
Well, I am Ivan Adai-Mensah, and I am representing the peasant farmers, or what some people call the small-scale holders. We are supposed to be small people, but it is our vote that is going to make sure whether you get re-elected and become a minister, or we are going to boot you out with our thumbs when it comes to election. So you have to be very, very mindful of the stand that we take as peasant farmers regarding these three investors, including the one with the plenty money.
Uh-huh. As long as you promise that I will go above minister with your vote, become the prime minister. If not, then we don't move forward.
It will depend on the decision that you take.
The advisor hanging on with a thread.
Yes, Honorable Minister. My name is Nkem Kumba, and I'm here to provide our scientific, our advice on which of the investment options might best serve your government.
Good afternoon, Honorable Minister. I'm J.B. Diodu, and I'm part of the group that did a study on the proposal by one of the investors, Investor B, and I'm here to present to you some advice about how to consider that investment proposal.
Thank you very much, everyone. We'll start with the lady. Yeah, we make it a short meeting and finish. With the money.
Thank you very much. I like it when I talk first, you know. It's not easy.
Yeah, speak this one. Use this one.
Millionaires talk gently. Really don't shout when you have money. Meanwhile, we looked at three nexus in advising the investor C. And what we looked at was the area of land. We looked at land. The investor is a capitalist who has a lot of money and expects maximum return on his investment. Here we have the landowners who are peasant farmers, but they are busy, but they have arid land, and the investors could make a lot from utilizing that land properly. So what he would do is to negotiate with the individual farmers individually, not the chief. By negotiating with them, he makes use of their land, provide them with seedlings, fertilizers, and extension service. They will be the one that would work on their land and produce the crops which he will use. Since the land is arid, so there's probably no water, he provides them with borehole. And if it's a place whereby we have rivers that channels into several places, he could do gravity irrigation and the plants along the water line. Eventually, he could capitalize on seeds such as cassava or palm oil. If it's, for example, he's going to use cassava, the farmers, after having provided water for them, having provided water for them to farm, they'll produce a huge number of, for example, cassava, which can be used eventually for alcohol. It can be used for ethanol, for commercial,
for drinking.
Yes, for commercial purpose. And in the long run, the locals also benefit from it because they have cassava which they can use for local consumption, while he still has his own for huge investment. So it's a win-win situation. Eventually, what he's investing in them is also benefiting the community. They now have work to do. They have water, which would probably be used by them, and also for the production of cassava or other seedling. Probably, if it decides to go into palm oil, which can be used for soap, cosmetics. But eventually, the locals will also benefit from it, and he will benefit from it and make huge profits from his products eventually. So, for him, so for him, he makes a lot of profit by using his capital, his money, to provide employment for them, improve their livelihood, and in the long run, I still have plenty money in my bank account, and I'm still happy.
Mr. Headboy, how much time do we have?
Well, I leave that to you, Minister.
So,
You can get the best advice.
so here is providing resources for people who will utilize the resources. So we're not going to, you don't have the issue of taking loans, being worried about loans and all that. And so you really don't have to invest. It's the investor C that does all the investment, and everybody. It's a win-win situation.
What does the C stand for? Chinaman or something like that? I worry about Chinaman.
No, he's just a capitalist.
Okay. So what does Baba have to say from the peasant farmer? So my grandfather would be unhappy if he doesn't talk.
Honorable Minister, we the peasant farmers, we are not very happy about Investor C, because we are supposed to give you advice, evidence-based or evidence-informed advice. All that Investor C has been saying, we've seen it all before, and we've heard it all before. When they come with sugar-coated words. We will give you this, and we will give you seeds, and we will give you water, and then you will make money, and then we will make money, and it's a win-win situation. Before you know what is happening, my own employer on my own farm, my own land, tomorrow I'm an employee of Investor C. And before long, I have lost my land. They want 100,000 hectares of land occupied by my colleague peasant farmers. We live on that farm, and we farm on that land. When they take the 100,000 hectares, where am I going to be with my wife, or as a peasant farmer, my wives?
Yeah, I was about to ask if you only have one.
Yeah, my wives and my children. Where are we going to be? And if tomorrow, Honorable Minister realizes that we have been cheated and advises the Prime Minister that we should give the land back to the peasants, this Investor C is now going to say, give me compensation. There is plenty of evidence in other countries similar to our country. So we will advise that instead of giving the land to Investor C, let us organize our peasant farmers into cooperatives. Empower us. Let the banks give us the necessary money. Try and make us also grow. Learn how to farm. They learned in their country before she got that money that she wants to come and invest in our country. Let us go through the same pathway. Otherwise, we can never develop. So, Investor C, please take your money somewhere else.
We can just seize the money. we nationalize every source of money that they have. Yeah. Baba, you've reminded me that I'm also a peasant. Yeah. But let us also listen to the articulate gentleman over there. He knows how to use the mic. That mic is not.
Hello. Yes, Honorable Minister, thank you for giving me this opportunity to share our preoccupations with you. I would like to stand because being a serious matter and being an honorable you are, I think you deserve me to stand.
You're threatening me. I feel insecure. I send 2 guards to stand by me here. I feel very insecure now. Did you search him properly before he came in?
Your Excellency, I'm just glad to know that the representative of the peasant population is here. In the course of trying to discuss with them, I'm not just coming to meet you for the first time. I've tried to meet them. We have discussed to see the possibility of this investor. We are coming in to ask for 100 hectares of land for biofuel production. And the major crops which will supply these machines are sunflower, oil palm, and jatropha. Your Honorable, may I call to your attention that this land we are soliciting for, we have already made feasibility studies with the local experts. This land is far from the arable land where the local population is using. This land is not accessible. So giving these foreign investors the opportunity to come is a way of extending the development of your place. This land has been abandoned. It's a virgin forest. It has nothing to do with the land the peasant population is presently using. And they even have to say they have orphan crops. Giving these foreign investors the opportunity to come and invest is another way of diversifying their crop production. Oil palm production, jatropha, as well as sunflower is not being produced here. Your Honorable, may I call to your attention that this company we are soliciting for already has proven expertise and is known to be really popular in Asia, in parts of Southern America. So them coming into your place is another way to increase your popularity. However, after discussing with them, most of the fears in terms of taking their land and other things have already been addressed. Their representatives sitting there will bear me witness that first, apart from the feasibility studies being carried out to know that the land is at a distance which is not accessible by them and is underutilized and is a virgin forest, their worries in terms of revolting against that you are bringing a company to take their land has been addressed because there are preoccupations. First, may I call to your attention that in terms of the little studies we have done around the population, they have just about 5 PhDs in a population of about 23,000 people, 20 masters. So these foreign partners coming in will give scholarships through this for your population to be trained. And by so doing, you are improving their skills and the manpower of your population. Thirdly, besides the direct benefits of employment of them, let me call to your attention, Your Honorable, that this population, you will benefit from taxes that will be paid by these companies to you. The road networks will be improved. Infrastructure in terms of schools will be developed. Your Excellency, the benefits associated with allowing this multi-billion company to come in are far more than the disadvantage you have. Being a young man as you are, Your Excellency, your ambitions are high. You will not only earn at the level of a minister. Let me call to your attention that by accepting this population, this company to come in, you will make a landmark in terms that you brought development. Your airports will be improved. The road infrastructure, soliciting the votes of your population will not be a problem because they are sure of the safety and the guarantee that if you go higher, you will do them better. Your Excellency.
Will the airport have my name?
Your Excellency. I think these are just the little we can identify for now. But may I say the benefits associated with allowing this multi-giant company to come in will be far more than the disadvantage. And let me equally add that they call their crops orphan crops. For development to take place in a place, there must be diversification. So them bringing jatropha, sunflower, and oil palm, not only, although they are destined for the European market, it's also mentioned here that they will be sold locally. But may I call to your attention that the farms that this 100 hectares will not be developed immediately. It will be done progressively. Some of these people who will be employed will also have their own personal farms that will serve as feeder farms to these biofuel machines. You seated there, it's even guaranteed that your own farm will be opened. Your Excellency, I think the advantages associated with allowing this land which is not being used and abandoned there, the 100,000 hectares, are more. Roads will be developed to there. Why not even an airport to that place?
With his name.
Talking about your name being on the airport, I think the development, the smiles you put in people's faces by giving them employment, sending their children to good schools, are better than your name that will be inscribed. But that will be taken care of. Your name being on the airport, even on the road, your name will be written. So, Your Excellency, beside many other advantages associated to it, please rest assured that the population is already well sensitized and educated. And they are just waiting for your final approval and confirmation. For the population, have no fears that they will revolt. We have consulted them, we have spoken to them, we have educated them. I think with even these studies we have come out, how can a population of more than 25,000 people have 3 PhDs, 10 masters? So through this project, a lot of them will be given scholarships to go and learn how to produce oil palm. Laboratories will be set up, schools will be set up, and in the next 5-10 years, your population will not be the same. Your Excellency, permit me stop for now. Thank you.
Thank you very much. You even reminded me of my PhD in diversification and the study of feasibilities. That's what I studied. And very soon I'll have another certificate also, maybe from that school. Yes, sir.
Thank you very much, Honorable Minister. It gives me great pleasure to offer you some thoughts, some advice about Investor B. Perhaps first of all, I'd like to just let you know what Investor B is interested in. Investor B is interested in 20,000 hectares of irrigable land. And this land is the area around our country's largest river. Now, what makes this a bit complex is that our country shares this river with 5 other countries. And Investor B wishes to expand his grain production. So he wants to produce grain for food. And the production area proposed extends into 3 of these 5 countries along the river. So we've thought about it and deliberated about it, and we thought that whatever development takes place is going to affect not these other countries that are along the river. So we thought the first thing we need to do is perhaps there needs to be an impact assessment study, a thorough impact assessment study. And that study shouldn't just be done by us, but it should be done with the other countries that are along the river.
But why do we care? We are the greatest country of the 5.
Yes, Honorable Minister.
We are just going to annex.
Okay. Okay, yes. Yes. So we said, okay, let's just have the impact assessment study together with them. And we also think, in the face of your statement that we're going to annex the
One by
country,
one.
I'd like to have
So we don't really, they don't matter now.
we'd like
Talk
to
about us in our interest.
would like to suggest that perhaps we can, just be the big brother and say, okay, we are prepared to work with you. So we think that we should actually get some buy-in from these other countries before we start anything. But then perhaps one of the important things we thought that should be noted is the fact that the investor wants to produce grain. But the grain he wants to produce are the so-called star crops, some rice, maize, wheat, and so on. But we think that our own crops are also very important. So we think that we should persuade the investor to include some of our own crops as part of this big commercial production venture. For instance, millets, sorghum, and so on, which are gluten-free. And so we could actually even export to other countries. The demand for gluten-free crops is increasing. So that is potentially an avenue where we could actually even generate foreign exchange for our own country. We also think that it's very important, whatever is done, whatever venture we get into, there should be gender sensitivity. That we should.
What does that mean? you mean my wife's going to leave the home now?
No, she's not.
What's the sensitivity about?
We think that the role of women is very, very important in this, and that should not be neglected. The women should be brought into the mainstream of whatever is going to happen in this venture that we're going to embark upon. That's very important.
Do you hear this man? Okay, you can have one more minute, then we ask the advisor here.
There's one more
Man
point.
is trying to make this an Oibo land.
There's one more point. I'm going to call on one of my colleagues who will come and explain that very well to you. It's a very important point.
Thank you, Your Excellency and colleagues. My brief is to explain the issue of land ownership and how that can be managed. In our discussion, we came up with two proposals worth considering. The first one is a community share ownership scheme, where if we are allowed to be the investors on this land, we will contractually dedicate a specific share of our profits for investment in public facilities and services in this community that we're going to be doing our farming. And that investment will go towards things like roads, schools, public health facilities, and communication infrastructure. And in that kind of arrangement, the communities won't be obligated to change their way of life. They'll continue to do their usual subsistence farming practices, but because of the disturbance that they're going to encounter because of the investment, then we'll give them a share of the profits. Then the second proposal that we're putting on the table relates to contract farming. We are proposing that if farmers agree, we can engage them into a contract farming arrangement where the type of crop that we're going to be producing, they will be mandated to produce that, but give the crop to us to market in both local and international markets. And then we give them a small share of proceeds from that crop.
Okay, thank you. But that man was not searched before he entered here. I don't know. So when he came, The advisor, please wrap it up. Let us finish. See what next.
All right. Thank you, Your Excellency. Mine really will be short. Based on the options that we have on the table here, I don't think, at least me speaking on behalf of my team, don't think any of these options actually serves the interest of the government and the people and the objective of food security. We thought option C, first of all. The company, the investor, says it very clearly. They are profit driven and nothing else. No philanthropy is on their table. And we don't want anyone to turn our people into plantation workers for external profits. So we didn't think that would be any option at all for us. As a matter of fact, because they say very clearly that not even philanthropy is part of their conversation, issues of recycling profits back to support development will likely be out of the table. We might find our people being the harshest plantation workers on their own land. So we thought that should be the least of the options. Option A, we thought, is primarily for export product to foreign markets. And food self-sufficiency for the people is still not on the table at all. We thought that would be the second to the last option to consider. Option B, we thought, would be the third to the last option to consider. And the best thing we think, given these three, is to look within our own government and policy structure and see if we can do without any of these three companies. If there are any avenues for providing cooperatives or empowering our own citizens to develop their own nations without, or their own countries, without this type of foreign arrangement, that would be optimal. But if the budgetary situation is so difficult that one of these must be looked into, then option B is what we think should be looked into with lots of revisions, so that it much better accommodates not only our needs as one country, but our neighbors. As a matter of fact, we can get into conversation with our neighbors to see how, as a consortium, we can get a better bargain from option 2, given that they use our common water and they're already growing grain in these other countries. Our people want that to diversify from the quote-unquote star crops that are grains to what we normally would farm as orphan crops. So option B gives a better option for us to negotiate with them, work with our neighboring countries to make sure that we have a better collective bargain to serve our people.
That is a science advisor. I think we shall extend your contract. Maybe 5 years or for life even, if you want. You reminded me about the national company. You know, my sister's husband's brother-in-law's mother has a company that we might be able to use on our own without bringing the multinational. Yeah, you've reminded me. Very good. We have to take all these advices and think more. But before you leave, I want you to get an envelope there. And anyone who asks you, said the minister talked a lot of science with us and he's balancing our ideas. And I want you to take that envelope and be very happy. Don't deposit in a bank account. Okay? So, Master of Ceremony, is there anything else? We have a lot to think about. Yeah. But also remember that company.
All right, please let's give them a hand of applause. So this is just a simulation of what in reality happens, and as scientists we are called upon to make sure that it works. We should not sit back and allow the policymakers to make the decisions all the time. We have to provide evidence that will assist them in making evidence-informed policies that will benefit our people. I would like to thank the Minister for Agric, Honorable Christian Popo. What is the name again? I forgot your name. For anchoring the session, and then to thank all the representatives. You all spoke like cabinet ministers, and I think you should take it forward. Thank you so much, and we'll go on for the next session. Thanks. Thank you.